Hello, Freeride fans, Freeride family. Welcome back to the Freeride Guide. We've got another update pod. I think we should stop calling them emergency pods because I don't know if they're really an emergency.
Yeah, it's on the scale of things. This isn't really an emergency, but there's definitely some breaking news that we wanted to get out to all of you.
Yeah, I guess the emergency is us just scrambling to get it done.
Yeah. It felt like an emergency ripping over to your house this morning.
Yeah, right? Because we're just so excited about it. There is some Freeride World Tour news heading into the Freeride World Tour stop in Kicking Horse next week. We're both getting ready to head out there in a couple days. So we've got some, I guess, rider news.
Yeah, some unfortunate news for injury reports. We've got two riders in the ski men and ski women's field that were unfortunately injured during the Verbier Pro. We had Simon Perraudin going down with a broken scaphoid, and that's a tough one. Scaphoids take forever to heal. There's really not a lot of blood flow to that bone. I broke my scaphoid and was in a cast for 2 months.
2 months?
Yeah, 2 months in the cast, and then the recovery after that takes forever.
Really? Were you drinking milk?
I was drinking milk, yeah. I was taking calcium, I was doing everything, but it's a slow heal, and Simon broke his scaphoid last year as well, so he's taking this, seriously.
Right, and it's basically your shoulder blade, right?
No, it's in your wrist. It's
that's scapula.
Yeah, exactly. It's
right,
a little bone in the wrist.
That's right.
It doesn't see a lot of blood flow to it, so it takes forever to heal. And with a previous injury to it, I appreciate the approach. Obviously, it's got to be heartbreaking for Simon. He was on a hot run in Verbier. He was at home. He had that big crash, and then to come away with that with like an injury where you could ski, but you probably shouldn't ski, and you definitely shouldn't smack it on the ground has got to be tough. It's not like a lower body injury where you could not go skiing.
Right.
He could go skiing. He could ski with one pole. He could tape his pole to his head, whatever. There's lots of ways you could do it. But man, so I can imagine that was a bit of an agonizing decision for young Simon as he's really kind of on the rise in the Freeride World Tour and to see him out sideline for a bit. The press release said 8 weeks minimum. The press release said 6 weeks minimum. So I hope it's that quick. He's definitely got youth on his side for healing. So we will see when we see Simon back in the start gate.
Yeah, well, hopefully you heal up quickly. There is another pretty unfortunate injury which happened at the last event. Taylor Dobbins for ski women has blown her ACL.
That's heartbreaking for Taylor. She was so excited to be in the mix. She was so strong on the challengers. Her debut, the top half of her run was excellent, like really, really strong. She was skiing fast. She clearly knew where she was going. So the visual inspection anxiety that she had would, could go away because she was obviously totally in charge of her own line there. And she went down hard. I mean, definitely the most tumbles on the back that day, like just head over heels, head feet, and tore her ACL. So that's a big recovery. We've got in ski women Lily Bradley coming back from that this year. So that's a really tough one for Taylor because she was just getting started.
Yeah, and I'll give her big credit. She skied off the hill.
Yeah,
she didn't. I blown my knee. I wasn't skiing out at all. So, she got up, she skied at least to the bottom. I don't know how she got off the hill, but good for her. That's
hopefully it didn't do any further damage to it. But I mean, once it's torn, it's torn.
Exactly. So props to you, Taylor, for being tough and like I was actually shocked seeing that because I saw the accident and I asked you, like, was that from the event? Just because she got up, she skied it out, and knowing from experience, I wouldn't have been able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my take on that is it's crazy what adrenaline can do for the human body.
Right.
The adrenaline not only of the fall, but of being in the start gate on the Bec de Ross for your first ever FWT event. There's a lot of serious energy just coursing through the body at that point. So yeah, maybe she got up and sometimes, I mean, when I tore my knee, I was in total denial. I was like, it's probably not that bad. It's not that bad. Well, it's weird. I can't really stand on it. But you know what I mean? You deny it for as long as you can, and then...
Oh, I knew right away. I was on the phone booking an MRI on the chairlift down. Like I got a toboggan to like a download chairlift, and I sat on the chairlift. And obviously, being in Canada, you get MRIs for free, but you got to wait months. I was on the phone, and I had an appointment booked for the next day at a private clinic. So I was like, oh, I knew. I'm taking care of this as fast as possible.
Yeah. So healing wishes to Taylor. Really looking forward to seeing her back in the start gate. It's a long road now that she's got to recovery, but I have 100% faith that we will see her back in the mix with the FWT as soon as she's ready.
Right. And then another big one here is last year's ski women's champion, Justine, had to pull out, not an injury, just personal reasons that she's not going to be able to attend. And she actually has a little quote that she released. It breaks my heart and saddens me that I won't be competing at home in Canada in front of my family, friends, and fans. Sometimes there are things more important than skiing that need to be prioritized. I'm grateful for the support of the FWT and wish good luck to everyone competing. So just based on that, I don't really need to talk. We don't need to talk too much about it. So we're wishing the best to Justine and her family, and we hope to see her again soon.
Yeah, that's definitely a big blow to the ski women's field. A couple heavy hitters out, and now, the door opens up a little bit for the other riders to kind of put their stamp on things. But nobody wants it that way. If you're going to be ahead of somebody in an event or in the rankings, you want it to be off your performance and not have other people going through stuff. But it is what it is, and so we're going to miss all three of those riders and wish the best to all of them.
Yep, absolutely. Moving right on, we have got a wildcard announcement, and I'm really excited about this one.
Oh, yeah.
My good friend, Mr. Stan Rey, Whistler local, former Canadian ski cross team member. You know him from all of the Solomon videos and his Backy Sundays.
Yeah, and the standout in the Blank Collective film, Stan Rey has been a fixture in the big mountain skiing world for a long time, pretty much since he stopped racing.
Yeah, about a decade.
Yeah, and every time you open up Instagram, you just see some new wild thing. He's like the most humble guy. He came out a number of times over the years with the Freeride Club, the Whistler Freeride Club here, just to hang and be a star for the kids to kind of look up to. And every time he'd be like, "Oh, these kids are so much better than me. My career's over." But yet he continues to deliver performances at the highest level. So I'm so excited to see Stan in the mix here as a wild card.
Right, me too. So I actually skied around with Stan. Tenra was in town, so he's showing Tenra around the mountain. I met up with them on Whistler Blackcomb, just up the hill here in the backyard. Went for a ski, and I asked him about the wild card, how he got it, what makes him think that he should be doing this. So this is that little conversation with Stan.
Freeride guide.
Yeah, we're started, buddy. So Stan Rey, tell us about this big news.
Well, the big news is that an old guy will be competing in the Freeride World Tour as a wild card in Kicking Horse, and that old guy being me. I was super stoked when I got the okay a few months ago that they told me I got in, but conditions are a little firm and not a whole lot of snow in the forecast, so it's going to be interesting, but I think that's going to play to my advantage, truthfully, because Apollo contacted me. He's like, "No, what you want is bad conditions, because then the young kids can't go as crazy because the conditions are bad." And he said brains beats the young kids when that happens. But I don't think he knows me very well, because I don't have many brains.
I was gonna say, so what's your advantage then?
I don't think he knows I'm like hyperly competitive, and I'm easily. It's easy to. I have a rubber arm. It's easy to twist my
arm. So for those of you that don't necessarily know, you do have some competition history.
Very little competition history.
Well, like maybe not freeride, but you were on the Canadian ski cross team.
No, that's true. I grew up ski racing alpine, and I was on the provincial team, and then I raced 3 years on the national team. So you're not wrong. I do have some competition history, more ski racing. And then I competed in Cold Rush in 2016. And other than that, that is all my freeride.
What about Monster Enemy Lines?
Yeah, that's more of a
straight line.
It's a Chinese down. I don't know if we can say that, but that's what it is. And I did race that, but that's a race.
That's true.
It's a free ride race, I guess.
There you go. So you do have a little free ride competition, and then people will know you as on the free ride scene for the last 10 years, being one of the premier guys on the old ski film circuit, skiing for Solomon. So did they reach out to you for the wild card? Did you reach out to them? I know you told me kind of earlier, I guess last summer, that it's something you would like to do, but it was just an idea then.
Yeah, it was an idea, and you know what? It's been on my bucket list to compete in a free ride comp. And I thought, I mean, like, there's no risk in me asking to see if they'd get me as a wild card. And I asked, and I'm like, I might as well try before I'm too old and it's too late. I don't want to be doing it when I'm 38, 39, even though I know some people that still do amazing.
Fair enough. Are you hoping that the comp goes on a Sunday?
For Backy Sunday, obviously. I mean, yeah, obviously, no doubt about it. I was like, "Where's he going with this?" I'm like, "Oh, Backy Sunday." I mean, obviously, it's gotta go on a Sunday. If it's not on a Sunday, it's gonna be hard to Backy for me.
What if it's like a Thursday? Is it gonna be Backy Thursday?
No, I might have to make up something new.
Right. So you are very familiar with Freeride. You actually helped me out do kind of a test episode of the original Freeride World Tour podcast. Which is now turned into the Freeride Guide, this show. But we did an episode together talking about the Freeride World Tour. So you've been paying attention the last couple of years, like based on what you've seen, what do you think you're going to have to do going into this comp?
Oh. I'm already thinking what my body's going to feel like, even if I land the line clean. Well, I think you're going to have to ski like a fast fluid line with big tricks, which I don't have that many big tricks. And truthfully, I'm okay not keeping up with the young kids, but I'm going to definitely give it my best shot. And conditions depending, I'll see what I throw down.
Have you been watching all the old comps from the last few years, just as research?
Not really. I'm more of like a on hill kind of guy. Look at something like, that looks good. I have been following the Freeride World Tour, especially the last couple of years, and so I did watch the comps, but not recently.
Right.
And all I can tell you is that the level is very high, and you got to put down a big, clean run if you want to win these days. It's not like make it to the bottom and you're in top three. You really gotta throw down if you want to be on the podium.
Right. So is that your plan? Is like, I'm gonna go for it? Because I know sometimes you can either get into an event like that and really give her and say, hey, this is my one chance, I'm going for it. And, we've spoken about this before. Your style of skiing sometimes is all or nothing. So is that kind of what you think we can expect from you from this event?
Well, conditions depending. Mm-hmm. And truthfully, I want to do my best. But at the end of the day, this is actually going to be news to you too. But I got more important things coming up here. In August, I have a little kid coming, so I'm going to be a daddy. So that's probably the priority number one, is keeping safe. Safety first or third. Probably safety third by the time I get there. I'm pretty stoked. I'm stoked to throw down and do my best, but I'm going to not take any unnecessary risks.
Fair enough, man. Well, I'm excited to see you out there. It's going to be fun having you kind of interacting with everybody on the tour, and you're going to fit in right away. Oh
yeah, it'll be fun. I know a lot of all the Whistler kids and Tenra, and I just met Finn today, skiing around Whistler with them. So it's a blast. I'm stoked to get out there and get amongst it with all the rad skiers and snowboarders.
Right on, man. Well, congrats on the news, and we're excited to see you throw down in a couple days.
And make sure you keep your eyes out for the Freeride World Tour in 2038 for a little mini Ray coming at you.
Yeah, nice.
It's so exciting to hear from Stan, to see, feel like both the stoke and the anxiety are just radiating off him for this opportunity. It's something that he's been wanting to do. He's done so much in the ski industry in a lot of different avenues. So I think, looking at it on paper, call it on video, Stan Ray is perfectly suited to this kind of competition. It's right up his alley. It's just wing nuttery at its finest, and I think we're going to see something special from Stan. checkers or wreckers all the way for Mr. Rey.
That's usually how it goes with him.
Big time.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm excited to see what happens. And you know what? He's also coming off of an injured knee. It took him. It was a long rehab for him. I know it was a little difficult. I walk dogs with him every once in a while, so I'll get the lowdown. But he's feeling strong this year. He's feeling strong. He's feeling good.
Yeah, he looks like he's back to normal stand,
I think so.
Which is exciting.
Because he skied last year a little bit, and it usually takes like a good, they say 6 to 9 months till you're on skis again. But it really takes about a full year until you're kind of back to normal.
That was my experience for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm fired up for Stan. I think it's going to be so much fun just to have him in the mix with the crew. He's kind of mentioned in the Freeride World Tour press release that he's stoked to mix it up with the young bucks. He'll be the first one to call himself old, but he's still, I think he's right in his prime right now, and it's gonna be sick to see Stan lay it down on the ozone face.
And it's gonna be good to have him on tour around everybody too. He's such a like beam of energy.
Totally,
yeah.
Good energy.
Yeah, people will be stoked on that. So that's exciting. Looking out for Stan Rey. We've got let's do a little weather update. So the last podcast we talked about how brutal it was. Well, things change. So they got some warming. A lot of the snowpacks kind of seem to be consolidated, and there's some snow coming.
Yeah, the most recent forecast is actually looking pretty positive. Both Sunday and Monday, decent amounts of snowfall at Kicking Horse, and then cool temps and sunny skies. So it could be. Yeah, I've got my fingers and toes and everything I own crossed here, but it could be kind of a repeat of the conditions that we saw in Verbier, where you've got a smooth, firm surface underneath and then a decent amount of new snow. And, that Purcell champagne powder is really nice. It kind of just sits on top. It's super fluffy. It'll provide some padding for the landings, which would be, I think, appreciated by the riders.
It's going to look good on the live stream.
Yeah, it's going to look good for sure. The smoke trail that they leave behind them. So we're moving towards moving out of the dark cloud of forecast and into something that's looking a little bit more positive. So I'm cautiously optimistic that we could see a really good event go down at Kicking Horse, which would be so much fun to watch, fun to call, fun to watch for the viewers, and maybe most importantly, fun to actually do for the riders. That's what they want. They're not in this for the for the glory. They're in it for the good times and the good riding. And if they can have good riding in competition, then it's all worthwhile.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you'll be there, obviously, on the mic.
Yep.
On the broadcast. I will be there on the live mic, on the live MC for the event. So if you see me, or where the tent is, come on over. I have a pocket full of Freeride Guide stickers. I want to meet you guys. I want to say hello. I want to hear what you have to think. Maybe we can do a live in-person backslap. So come on over and say hello. There's going to be a couple areas you can watch from Redemption Ridge, which is right along the ridge, which looks directly across at the face. And I believe they're going to be setting up a cool little corral down at the finish line as well, where you can actually be right up and close to the FWT riders and kind of hear what's going on and kind of feel like you're right into it.
Yeah, I really think if you are anywhere within driving distance of this event, you should come out and check it out, because it's spectacular on TV, no doubt. But seeing it live, seeing the size of the cliffs, the pace that the riders are moving through the terrain, it really just steps it up another level in like understanding truly how good these people are at what they do. So if you can get there, do it. It's so worthwhile.
Watching it with a crowd too is pretty excellent when you hear everybody screaming and losing their mind. So if you're in Calgary or somewhere along like Banff or Kelowna or even Whitefish or somewhere along that area, any of those towns in the Powder Highway, hop in the car, hop in the truck, get on out to Golden for that next week. They haven't announced the exact date yet for it, but that will come soon, so stay tuned to the FWT channels, Freeride Guide channels, Low Pressure Podcast channels will be your channels.
Yep.
By the way, we haven't mentioned that if you want to follow Derek himself, it's at Foose.
At DFoose.
At DFoose on Instagram. You can follow me either at Low Pressure Podcast or at red_Mark. That's where we are.
And definitely hit the follow button on the Freeride Guide. We'll keep you up to date exactly what's going on. For hopefully, if you're reached this point in this podcast, you kind of understand. But these events work on a weather window. It's not a set day. It's a range of dates, and they're going to be kind of looking to pick the perfect combo of quality snow and clear skies, so the riders have visibility, the webcast works, the actual riding experience is pleasant for the riders. So all those factors. So looking at the forecast, kind of to me, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday look pretty good. So that's unofficially what I think. It might happen on one of those 3 days. And yeah, absolutely. Check it out. Follow us. Make sure you're in tune with what's going on. And of course, FWT will announce as soon as they've made a call. It'll go out on all their channels, and we'll have it on ours ASAP. So you can get there, stand at the finish line, high five Max Higsig or Marcus Gauguin, Wei Tian, any of those athletes. There's just, man, it's kind of like the Marvel universe. It's just
Hedwig, Victor,
Yeah,
what I mean?
it's this like stable of superheroes, and everywhere you look you're like, oh, remember when they did that? Oh, there's that person. Like, it's every single one of them is just so good at what they do. And honestly, maybe my biggest takeaway when I first started, and I'll say that's trailed all the way through to now, they're awesome. I have yet to meet somebody on the Freeride World Tour that I wasn't like, oh, that person's sick, like fun to hang out with, good to have a chat with. It's this common thing of everybody so passionate about skiing and riding that it kind of just, the thread runs through the entire community, and I love it for it.
Absolutely. So yeah, make sure that however you're listening to this, go make sure you're following, subscribed, give us a 5-star review if you think it's worthy, because we're having a lot of fun on this and we want to keep growing this show. Fun bet. I'm going to be putting in my picks for the Peak Performance Fun Bet. Don't forget to join the Freeride Guide Podcast League, so you can get to the Fun Bet from the Freeride World Tour website. Hit Fun Bet, go enter all of your information, go to leagues, look for the Freeride Guide Podcast League, and join up, because we'll be talking about that, having some fun, and seeing how we shape up with everybody. You can watch the event on the Freeride World Tour website or on the FWT YouTube channel, which is where I usually watch it when I'm not I'm not at the event. Yeah. And I'm chatting with people on there as well. So you can chat with other like-minded people watching the event. And then if you end up having to watch it after, like if you're in Europe and the time isn't work for you, or in the future when it's in Europe and it's like 2 a.m, you can actually go back, watch the replay, and you can actually go into every single rider's run directly.
Yeah, I love how they break that up like that, so you can see specific runs and not have to scroll through the whole thing. It's science, man. It's cool.
Yeah, and it helps while you're listening to the Freeride Guide, so you can listen along if you're in front of your computer and like make it a little bit more interactive.
Oh, yeah. So
I think last time, we said hopefully this is the next time we talk to you is going to be at the event. Let's hope that's the case again this time. So yeah, some big news, some injuries, some withdrawals, some wild cards, a little update on the weather, and I'm excited to head out there in a couple days, and it should be a really good time.
Yeah, hitting the road on Monday, and look forward to seeing all of you on site there. Keep those backslap emails coming. We're really stoked on your questions and comments and everything. If you want to give us a slap on the back for a good job, or if you think we backslapped in something we said, you can email backslap@freerideguidepodcast.com, and we will do our best to answer you on the air. Make sure you let us know your name and where you're from so we can give a shout out to your home homies.
Awesome. So that's it for the updates, but that's not all. We're going to leave you with this cool little conversation to get to know ski men's competitor Tenra Katsuno. He was in Whistler hanging out with Stan Ray before they took the drive out to Golden. We got to show him around Whistler Mountain and ski some cool lines. And so I had a little chat with him in the gondola, and we'll get to know him a little better right here. All right, I'm sitting in the gondola here with Mr. Stan Ray, who we just announced as a wild card, and Tenra. Yep. What is your full name and how do you pronounce it correctly?
So my name is Tenra Katsuno, which is, this is it. No middle name.
No, is that a thing in Japan? Are there no middle names in Japan? I never actually thought about that before.
I don't think so. We have just first name and last name. That's it.
And the pronunciation is Katsuno, not Katsuno. It's Katsuno.
Katsuno, and which is for Japanese pronunciation, actually, Tenra is, we call Tenra, so L-A. So, yeah, you guys can call me Tenra, which is the L-A, not R-A, you know. Someone called me Tenra.
Yeah. That's how we read it.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's Tenla.
Yeah, exactly. Tenra is the...
It's the proper pronunciation.
Yeah, exactly. Proper pronunciation.
Oh, that's good to know. All right, Tenla, cool.
Yeah.
So we're on the gondola in Blackcomb right now. This is your first time to Canada, first time to Whistler, and we're getting ready for the drive out to Golden in a couple days for FWT. What's your first impressions about this place?
Well, super big, and just this is my very first time in North America, so. Like whole things are super new to me, and which is super excited. Even like someone says, not very good season.
So you don't really know the difference, right? It's like, oh, this place is cool because you don't know that it's not.
Yeah, because
it's not.
Stan told me the worst season ever he had. So then, but still, we had a really good skiing today. So then, which is super excited, and then looking forward skiing more in a couple of days.
Yeah, shredding around, and Stan's a good guy to follow because he's been here for so long. And we ran into a few other guys that compete on the qualifiers. We saw Finn today. What's your opinion of like the terrain here?
Well, steep, long, icy, but fun. If there's some more snow, like you can hit so many futures, which is you can go bigger or you can go more creative, then you can do more harder charging stuff as well, so which is super many things to do, which is super good.
So when you're getting ready for a comp in a few days, and is this so obviously the comp is going to go, they try to get the best conditions possible. Sometimes you're going to get a comp in conditions similar to this. Is skiing in difficult conditions like this where it's kind of harder, it's not powder, it's been a few days, it's kind of icy, it's steep, do you prefer training in conditions like this because it's harder, so when you get on a decent face, like you're all dialed in?
Yeah, I feel that way, because when I look some Kiwis, they're always good at skiing in the Europe or some BCs and stuff because they had really bad snow over there. So then I think they have some advantage for the average of good snow,
right,
for them.
Their good snow is like average to bad snow in Japan.
Super bad, like super bad, bottom bad. Yeah.
Where's home for you in Japan? Where do you normally ski? Where do you train?
So I based in Niseko, Japan, which is north island of Japan.
In Hokkaido?
Yeah, Hokkaido. And basically skiing around Niseko with some crews. Yeah.
For free ride and big mountain stuff, I would think you'd be more in the Alps down in Hakuba.
Yeah, Hakuba they have Alpes, but then Niseko is super mellow, super chill, which is really good for snowboarder maybe.
Yeah.
Not hard charging, not any huge cliff or something sort of stuff. So, but yeah.
So where do you do most of your training when you're in Hokkaido?
Niseko, which is
right near the resort.
Yeah, well, good things are you can send. And then without pain because we have snow, so you can go, try, easy to try, But here, I'm a little scared to crash because they have rocks or some.
The consequence is way higher here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
much higher here.
I took him down first actual run. We did a couple groomers and I took him down Spankies, and it was so bad at the bottom, but we did Calvin and Hobbes and cut across the exposure, and I'm like, don't fall, there's cliffs to the right, and it's just horrible. I was I threw him right into it.
Yeah, well, welcome to Whistler.
that was so intense. Yeah,
that's intense. So you also spend a lot of time in New Zealand because your accent has a little bit of Kiwi on it.
Okay, yeah, maybe, that's what lots of people said. Yeah.
So what do you go down there in the summer times just to do enter comps down there?
Yeah,
Are you skiing for filming or just hanging out?
Yeah, so when I was 16, I went there for my very first time to visit it for a skiing competition, junior tour, and then after that, straight into seniors, like Freeride World qualifiers staff. And then last year, I was already qualified for the World Tour, so then I was filming for there. Yeah, I was there for filming. So then, yeah, which is things little changing. But then, yeah, mostly for skiing, like junior, and then after that, qualifier, and then after that, for filming. Yeah.
Right. So remind everybody, how did you do in your first comp this year?
I ended up fourth, and which is super stoked. Especially I dropped in first, so that was not easy for your
first ever run on the FWT.
Exactly.
On the Beck.
Yeah, that was so stressful. When you pick up number one, that was the most so frustrated.
Just overwhelming and just wild.
Yeah, everyone was like cheering me, but I was like, fuck, man. But on the comp there, I didn't feel any nervous because I was already kind of gave up. Like, you cannot.
You just gave into it?
Yeah, exactly. I just focus on my things, so that works well at the time. Yeah.
Amazing.
And then, which is really good thing, sir. In this comp, this coming kicking host, I won't be first. So,
you hope so?
I won't be dropping first.
For sure? You hope so?
Because they told me.
Oh,
so,
yeah?
Yeah.
We'll see. See what bib you pull, man.
No.
The chances are. The chances.
Maybe second, dropping second, or third. Whatever. Maybe last. That'd be fun.
We'll see, man. Well, you've already got a good number in, and we're excited to see you out there.
Yeah, for sure. See ya.
Thanks, buddy. We got to get off the Gandhi now.
Right on. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in to this updated, I guess, the FWT update.
Yeah.
FRG FWT DATE. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully the next time you hear us will be for the Kicking Horse Golden Pro event recap.
Recap coming up next.
All right. Thanks, buddy. Bye, everybody.
This has been a Redmark Media production.